Hiya folks, this is Brian Zach, and welcome back to Quarantine Sessions number 3. Today's song is Third Stone from the Sun, originally recorded by Jimi Hendrix in the Jimi Hendrix Experience. The artist today is Bad Brad. Bad Brad contacted me about recording this song remotely here from the home studio, from my home studio. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Okay, we're going to talk about 3 things: the prep work I did to prepare for recording this song, the gear that I used, and as well as an in-depth look at some of the playing aspects of how I recorded this song. All right, so let's get started. Let me just say, first and foremost, that I love Mitch Mitchell's playing so much that, like, anytime I'm on a gig somewhere where somebody calls a Hendrix tune, I just light up. So, prep work. What did I do to, get ready to record? What's my process? Well, first thing is listen to the song, right? Familiarize myself with the song, the structure, the form, the style. We're talking about 60s rock here. Bad Brad recommended that I listen to a specific arrangement, a specific recording of this song that was recorded by Jimi Hendrix and the trio from 1967, and that is off of the deluxe reissue album. If you're interested in hearing that, it's available on iTunes and various other sources that you might use, I would guess. So, a couple things. I'm listening for the drum sound. Mitch Mitchell was the drummer for Jimi Hendrix in the Experience, right? The Jimi Hendrix Experience. And so I'm listening to his snare sound, I'm listening to his cymbal sound, I'm listening to things that he played along, that were sort of signature ideas in his playing and to that song as well. Let's see. So what other prep work did I do? For this particular song, I did not make a chart. Whereas probably 90% of the time I do make a chart, just because a lot of the times I don't know the song at all. Oftentimes if it's an original song, this is a cover, and I'd heard the song, so I was somewhat familiar with at least the melody, though, it definitely helped to go back and reacquaint myself with this particular song, because I hadn't heard it in a long time. The other thing is, Bad Brad asked that I sort of make a modern version of what the recording was. So, whatever that means, that means to me, I can be a little bit more me and not have to worry about sounding exactly like Mitch Mitchell. I can sort of insert myself more into it. So that was a good sort of direction to put me in. Okay, gear-wise, what did I use? First thing is snare drum. I used my Ludwig Supraphonic 5x14 from 1971. It's iconic drum. It's definitely, I would say it's most definitely the kind of drum that Mitch would have used. It sounds just like it. So I wanted to sort of capture that essence. using this drum, and in this particular recording I have the drum wide open, so no muffling, tuned sort of medium high to get a nice crack, but also to allow for some overtones to, you know, come out when I want them to. I've got an Aquarian, I think it's a Modern Vintage 2 head on the coated Modern Vintage 2 on the batter. I have the drum outfitted with Canopus vintage snare wires. So that's the snare sound that you're hearing on this. Next is the cymbals, and you know, Mitch Mitchell would typically use sort of washy, bright sounding cymbals. So I use my Mel Lewis 21-inch ride with 2 rivets in it to give that nice kind of bed of white noise, as well as 2 large crashes, a 19-inch and a 20-inch, and also further on my left I used my China, 20-inch China, again for that sort of more modern sound. You know, Mitch Mitchell, when I think about Mitch Mitchell, I think in the cymbals that he used, I think about, you know, big crash rides, you know, so that's kind of where that was coming from, those choices that I made from my own cymbals to use on this record. Okay, next is the bass drum. I swapped out my usual sort of default bass drum for my Camco 22x14, the Los Angeles model, the maple shell. It's got 2 solid heads, no hull, and it's just wide open, so no muffling at all. And I used a felt beater. Miking, I mic'd the beater side of the head, so I had a mic pointed right at where the beater strikes the head for that articulation, that attack sound, as well as I had a mic out front for more sub-frequency, picking up those kind of frequencies. Playing wise, okay, Mitch Mitchell was known as the Elvin Jones of rock drumming, and I would mostly agree with that. You know, Mitch's playing had a lot to do with rudiments. He was coming from the sort of jazz swing drummer era. You know, a lot of his influences were jazz drummers, maybe like Max Roach or, you know, Art Blakey, that kind of thing. I don't know that specifically, but I'm pretty sure that he was, you know, he came up in the jazz band, the big band era, and he, you know, those were his influences. Maybe Gene Krupa, for instance. Anyway, Mitch's playing had a, you know, very rudimental, you know, basis, and he had great hands and a lot of rolling triplets similar to Elvin, and a lot of sextuplets, a lot of, you know, paradiddle-diddles, just rolling around the drums, a lot of like right, left, right, left, right, left, and that sort of thing. 6-stroke rolls were very common, and any variants of the 6-stroke roll as well. So I tried to incorporate some of that into the playing. As well as, you know, let's talk about Mitch's feel. I mean, Mitch, you know, again, he's coming from the swing era. He grew up in the big band era, and there's a definite swing to Mitch's playing, even when he's playing straight 8th rock grooves. So I was trying to, you know, capture that as well, especially in the part of the tune where the main melody comes in, and he's, you know, and it's just backbeat driven 8th notes on the ride in the kick pattern, but also there's a swing element to playing that straight 8th groove. So listen for that. A lot of open flams, a lot of blah 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 blah, sort of, you know, blah 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 blah, that kind of thing. That's maybe more of the modern thing I put on it. You know, obviously I'm influenced by a lot of more contemporary drummers, so I'm, you know, trying to insert that kind of sound into it as well. So yeah, that's it. I hope that you will love this video, this song, this version of this song, and please subscribe if you like the videos. Give me a like, give me a comment, it all helps. And I really appreciate everyone checking this out. So I hope to see you on the next one.